Hey there, back on the Alguacil Hacker now. Trying to keep these videos so they show all the faces in the same sequences, so you can. A lot of them it's going to be you're just going to be seeing the same things repeated on different miniatures. Sorry about that. I am just going to carry on recording all of these though, because it gets videos, but also you can see how I'm. Which bits I'm choosing to paint, what colours as such, how I'm sort of picking it up, because I actually ad hoc paint these. I don't know exactly what I'm doing before I've done it. I kind of find out as I'm painting the miniature how I'm painting it, which is probably a bit lackadaisical of me, and that's a good word. But I think on this one as well, because of her red hair, I kind of want it to be a particularly thin tint. I just want it to be really very subtle, which I'm obviously going to get completely wrong and bodge up entirely. It's partly because this is actually her flesh tone that I'm using as a tint. You can see as it runs next to the hand there, it actually runs a risk of being too close to flesh tone. Hence I want to keep this really thin all over and keep removing pigment from where I started. I'm often surprised when doing things like this. I mean, I've thinned this right out. It's probably, I don't know, maybe 3 parts water, 1 part pigment, maybe less, maybe 5 parts water, 1 part pigment. But I'm pretty impressed by how much pigment the layer of paint has in it. Because normally, well, basically the higher quality a paint is, it's really to do with pigment density. Now this is just a game colour, this isn't one of the opaque ones, so you can imagine how much pigment's in the opaque ones. Also they use a lot of emulsifying agent in their paint, or a very an emulsifying agent which is very thin, very lean. Oh, I might just leave the grey on her boots though. Yes, I'm just going to leave the grey on her boots. And yeah, I'm almost done with this bit now. Again, you can, because I'm choosing to leave her boots grey. Could have chosen to leave her arms grey, but I'm trying to keep consistencies. I mean, one of the things that I observed from the front cover of this box was that sort of the Wildcats had one tint applied to them, so they've got like a slightly bluey black tint, whereas the sort of the 3 character models as such, the Hacker here and the Hellcat and the Intruder, they all have sort of a brown colouring, where the Hellcats have, or where the Wildcats have just the sort of bluey grey one. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to leave her boots grey, so again, it's the kind of decision you can make just partway through, and it also makes it look like she's wearing boots and they're sort of slightly separate from the leg plates and then the sort of upper body skin. Also, the reason I'm keeping it thin is because I've got the sort of red quality in the hair. I don't want that to get too close together. Also, I don't want it to be too dark, because I don't want the leather and hand skin colour to get too close together, because that could be problematic as well. So once I decide what I'm doing next, or which bits I'm doing next, I shall get back to you. Catch you in a moment. Just moving on to the purple highlights. I want to keep this just like a one tier highlight on this. So it's the same, it's maybe 1 part hex lich and 1 part violet blue mix. I'm just trying to run it to the top edges, about all the sort of buckles and straps are on this now. Some of this is quite difficult to tell what's what. For a second there I thought that was actually a thumb and not part of the strap, but it's part of the strap. Now at this point I am trying to not mess the miniature up. I'm not fussed about it being... In fact, I have just completely got that. I'm just going to try and take this off. The whole area, easier to take off the whole area, by the way, than part of an area, because there's actually... the grey runs right round there. I'm mistaken. Yes, that's correct. Not bad through weaving. Just because these are so super duper detailed, that it's it. I want to see all of the detail, not just some of it. Every last little teeny weeny piece of detail I want to see. So part of the highlighting process is to just pick out every last little bit that you can. Even if you accidentally paint them grey or tint them at some point. Oops. Because this is the point where you can really start sort of bringing everything out, bringing everything together. All the little bits that you inadvertently, in my case anyway, painted the wrong colour. By accident. You can now bring back into the folder search, bring them back to the right kind of colour range. Just by dropping in these highlights. Also helps to keep the sort of the total variation going. And also it allows you to do sort of final cleanups on bits that you're not happy with. I wouldn't say these are the best paint miniatures ever, but I'm working on it. The other thing I hope you can see over these videos is me getting better. Actually, when I've been looking at, okay, I know I go on and on about his work, but when I've been looking at Angel's work, One of the things that's really obvious when I'm looking at it is he's getting better. I mean, the guy was good. If you look at the sort of earlier stuff painted, it's like it's really good, it's really clean, really neat. But you look at the stuff he's been painting more recently, and it's like he's actively trying to get better. I mean, he's not messing about, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to touch in those details, and again, I hope you can see this. I've brought up the colour, but I've not brought it as light as the violet, because I don't want the base, or sort of the defined colour of the violet to be the same colour as the highlight on the belts. I want the belts to be darker than that, but again, I still want the separation between sort of the purple in the belts and on the left leg there as distinct from the leathers. It's just something to bear in mind if you're ever doing anything like this yourself. So I'm going to move on to the next colours, and I'll be with you in a moment. So just moving on to doing the green plates, bringing them up to lime green so they're in line with everybody else. I'm quite happy with how the colour scheme turning out overall. In some respects, especially this sort of like lime green lilac, I have still got to highlight all of the violet blue plates, but I think it will look even better once they've been lightened up. And again, it's a sort of a highlighty, fadey kind of an affair. Just trying to keep everything as clean as possible. You're finding that especially with this sort of lime green, it really makes a big difference to separating the green out from the purple. I think it's really making the whole model come like sort of zing. Also providing the high contrast with things like the hair. I still haven't decided exactly what I'm doing with. You will find out in this video. And doing my utmost to keep everything in focus now as well, because it really annoyed me that I did have a couple of videos where stuff was out of focus. Also, I hope you haven't been annoyed with me for releasing things in sort of funny sequences, so that I'm actually batch recording things and I'm painting multiple miniatures at the same time. And that is because time and paint wastage. Don't want to waste paint. And then I release things out of sequence, so that you get a sort of day by day account. This is also because I need to be making sometimes I need to be making a few videos in a day, just in order to be able to keep on top of the sort of the video making curve as such. So in order for me to be able to do daily releases, sometimes I have to be making a handful of videos at once. Sorry, I'm a bit gruff around the edges. It's because I'm spending far too much time talking to myself. Trying to keep us in good light. Mostly working by daylight, even though it's a bit overcast out there today. Yesterday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it was like the middle of the night. I was getting a bit dozy. I was very surprised by the whole thing. So you might find that you've just had a sort of a strong dip in light, and then it's suddenly come back up again. It's because we had some storms passing over, and I'm right in the window, trying to use as much natural light as possible. Of course I'm coming out shot again, sorry about that. I have got all kinds of devices now to try and keep myself, or indicators to try and keep myself in shot for you. Like I said the other day, I started number crunching, and at the moment I find it very difficult to make decisions about what are kind of my ideal armies. I mean, the only ones I've really looked at and thought, wow, that would be a good army is the Ariadne. I was thinking about Ariadne Highlanders, and I was thinking of Caledonian, and it'd be funny to have a shed load of the Galwegian Highlanders, because at 6 points plus very impetuous, you could have what, 20 of them and still have a whole load of pretty elite troops to back them up and cause people jet, and you could just have them steam across the battlefield and you wouldn't really care if they died or not. Also, it'd be the rare thing of a fairly large army. Should probably catch a lot of people off guard. And I think basically I was looking at it. But then the thing I'm not sure about again is because I haven't read into all the mission briefs yet, or I've only in the past played sort of a few games where we've just been battling one another really. I haven't really got past the basic rules or anything, so if you need specialists in your army, the problem I've seen with the Ariadnes, for instance, if you require a hacker, well, you just don't have them. I mean, there's one hacker, but it's unless you use mercs for hackers, which is fair enough. But there's actually only one hacker, as far as I can tell, in the entirety of the Ariadne, which is in the Caledonian, and can go in a fire team in the Caledonian. Other than that, you've got the specialist operative, Uxia McNeil, who's kind of good. Doesn't have full camouflage, only limited camouflage, so once you come out of camouflage, she loses all of its benefits. Which is actually a little bit irritating. Well, irritating as hell, depending on your point of view. So, in terms of being able to complete specialist objectives, I haven't looked through the US Ariadne Ranger Force properly. I'm not really keen on doing one of them. I'm sure there's plenty of US players out there. They do seem to be one of the strongest Ariadne factions in terms of available troop choices. But what the hell? You tell me, you probably know more than me. Though not for much longer. I was also number crunching a tag army list for JSA, trying to work out how I'm going to expand it. It seems to me expansion really involves going into light infantry and remotes. Remotes provide, especially if you're using cheap remotes, but remotes provide a lot of tactical options which aren't otherwise available. Also, if you take the baggage remotes and you hide them somewhere where it's kind of out of people's way, they're not going to really want to go and get them, especially if you can, I don't know, get them somewhere which is difficult to access, sort of in the middle of a building out of the way somewhere. I suppose they can also resupply your remote devices, but then it's like, how do you actually buy the remote devices, like to get multiple sets of crazy koalas? Because you could in principle have loads of them on board, because you use them and then you go to your baggage train and you get more, and then you use them and you go to your baggage train and get more, and you could end up with like huge minefields of crazy koalas, which could be quite funny. And in order to get the baggage, it only actually costs 8 points. It's 21 points with a total reaction combi rifle, but which could be good to have as a companion for your Euro. But by the by, I'm currently playing Nomads, shouldn't be talking about them really. But I started looking at some Nomad lists, and I'm kind of quite happy with starting out with this Corregidor force, but I think in the future I'm going to be more tempted to buy sort of light infantry sets to start things out, because, and I actually quite like this about this game, it seems to me like light infantry is very much at the heart of this game. Like, you actually need them, they're not just a subsidiary, they're not just something that you put on the table and then you just remove in droves. I mean, you remove everything in droves in this game, but it's like, you know, they actually provide you with a significant tactical advantage. And like I say with the sorry, I left water on my brush. With your Uri, the way I was looking at maybe what's the word? Compensating, that's the word. Compensating for that lack of cheap users. You take baggage. The baggage does two things for you. It allows you to rearm, and it also boosts your point cap for retreat by 20 points. So if you've got 2 units but you've got the baggage trait, then that's a 40 point bonus, which when you've got a tag in your army is actually going to be rather handy, provided that you can keep it out of harm's way. I was thinking it'd be quite funny, especially if you had it in a, you know, vanilla Euro, like a split. So like I say, you can, provided you had the miniatures for them, you could spend a couple of orders just deploy crazy koalas, rearm, deploy crazy koalas, rearm, deploy, and you could actually then run up the field with a whole swarm of crazy koalas around one of your so it says once deployed, it doesn't specify that it has to have detonated before you can replace it. It doesn't say that there's a command and control issue, and I think any unit that uses that kind of disposable, use crazy koalas or equivalent, could do the same for. Another thing I was looking into it for was DEPs. What is it? Disposable explosive, something, or direct explosive payload. Panzerfasts, essentially, because that way you could have a unit. In the case of well, you could have a unit which, you know, it just sits back. It sits back with its baggage. It replaces rearms. So I've been kind of thinking about ways of making the best advantage of that, because you need to be using cheap troops, but you also need to optimise. Especially if you are going to use tanks, I think you really need to optimize the functionality of those tags. I haven't got a total. Like for instance, if you're going to take a lizard with, which I will be, do you take the grenade launcher, and in which case forward observers are essential. If you're going down that route again, it starts going towards the, maybe it's worth taking a whole load of zombots and going down the sniffer / satlock kind of route, so that you can optimize the grenade launcher that's built into it. And also, if you're going to do that, then you should also take something else, other stuff which uses and takes advantage of those things. Because it's a big points injection that you're going to be using to deal with those things. So yeah, there you go, that's the green put on. Okay, I'll move on to other colours and I'll catch you in a moo once I've sorted that out. So just cracking on with the first tier of lighter purple or lighter violet on the Alguacil Hacker. Again, trying to keep the fades going. And I know it's kind of irritating, but I actually find it easier if I shove a brush in my mouth, because then it's actually easier to get to. Anywhere else, I just find it takes too damn long. So yes, I'm a filthy Philistine that shoves paintbrushes in its mouth while it's painting. The paint job comes out good, who cares, right? I mean, this is maybe you should keep a paint pot on hand so they're stood up so easy to grab and blah and blah. Okay, it's just moving on to a 1-to-1 mix of violet to white, just for doing some final highlight fades. And just want to get bright patches on. Harder line of highlighting. Sorry, that's my dumbass phone or some numpty calling from London who's nothing to do with me. They annoy the hell out of me though. Sorry, I've been dumb, man. I've had my phone with me today, and that's how you know that it's a call centre, because it gets a follow-up text and say, "Oh, you should feel so lucky that we called you." And I'm like, really? I don't feel lucky that you called me at all. And just trying to sort of catch up these edges and make it look slightly reflective. I'm not quite sure this is meant to be reflective. I've got a funny feeling that I'm actually painting a chunk of hair there as if it's part of the headgear. Oops, if that is the case. Never mind. I might just touch that in a moment. I mean, I don't know about other people, I'm always finding things that I've missed. That seems to be 90% of my painting experience. It's just finding out exactly what I've missed right at the very end. Then I run around doing, you know, like a dozen touch-up jobs, which are things that really should have been dealt with much earlier on. But just haven't been, because I'm blind and stupid. Like, I don't know what all this fuzzy nonsense is on the shoulder here as well. That's annoying the hell out of me. It's something to do with me assembling it and probably breaking my arm off because I'm clumsy, and then redoing it again. Now I'm just making these kind of much more edgy, subtly highlights. I'm not trying to pick up whole objects as such, just really trying to catch clip edges and make this a proper highlight. The last layer ended up as a bit of a faded tint along the edges and not any real sort of highlight to speak of. Whichever brush you're using for touching up edges as you go along, it can often get trashed, which is a bit frustrating, but poor paintbrushes have rough lives. Then, trying to keep these edges clean, give as much definition as possible. Especially right here where I accidentally sort of blocked in the darker line earlier. Which was dumb, to say the least. Slice, isn't it? Dope. Now that was a mistake, so you don't want that there. Just want to keep everything on the edges. My throat's feeling a tad rough at the moment now. I think it's just because I've been talking to video cameras all day, every day for days on end. I'm getting a tad dehydrated in the process. Well, process seeing as how I'm English. Again, just sticking to top edges, I think, on this. And leading edges. Be nice if everything was a fade, but to be honest with you, don't think I'm going to be succeeding at everything being a fade. And also, again, if you look at stuff in real life, you will end up with a mixture of fades and more linear highlights, so it's not that big of a problem. Let's just move into the final highlights on the Alguacil Hacker. just, yeah, you know, using a bit of fading. It used to be soft. So it's doing something distinctly unsoft. I have a really bad painting today. I don't seem to be doing very much right at all. Maybe it's because I'm a bit tired. So I'm just running in final highlights. You know the drill with these kind of things by now, I would have thought. If not, check out some of the earlier videos where I'm doing I don't know, explain myself a bit more. Yeah, I'm just going to crack on with this and I will show you the end result. So I'll be back with you shortly. Just moving on, I'm just moving into the hair, back to the hair now. I'm just going to start running highlights using the original golden brown colour over the top. This is a sort of pseudo dry brush. It's not actually a dry brush, but it's approaching the miniature as if I was dry brushing, just very carefully trying to catch up leading edges and sort of re-golden brown everything, so that I'm just leaving the red ink in the recesses. I'm trying to let the miniature do the work for me as much as possible. And although this isn't a huge task as such, it's going to take a while because it's one that requires a great deal of care. What you don't want to do at this point is just sort of painting the hair yellow again, or golden brown in this case, because that would be pointless. So I'm going to get this all done and I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay, so just run the hair colour through, and now I'm just mixed a bit of white with the golden brown, and I'm just adding a couple of extra little highlights here and there. Again, sort of just be careful. I'm not running this over the entirety of the hair. I just want to give a sense of the light catching it in places, so it's not quite as you don't have to like do the, you know, you do sort of every single plate on the miniature if you're highlighting the plate. You don't have to do that when you're doing this, just enough to pick out bits and pieces. Also, I didn't touch the fringe with the last one. I just want to touch in, get a couple of little highlights just on those leading edges, just where the hair peeks out from underneath. So here is the finished Alguacil Hacker. I hope you approve. She's one of the last ones to be finished from the Jurisdictional Command force. So it should have a video up of the whole lot together. Just giving you a quick twist so you can see her from all angles. I hope you approve. Once again, cool mini or not, you decide. Please do comment, like, subscribe. So yeah, that's my Alguacil Hacker completed. Okay, cheers everybody, take care, have a good one, enjoy, and I will catch you next time. Bye bye.